It's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. The NFL playoffs are rolling along, and we're going to go down the line and hopefully give you guys some winners for the NFL playoffs this weekend. And if not, at least some good information to base your bets on. It's National Championship Week in college football, and we've got a special code for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. The code is CHAMP. We've got Craig Trapp joining us to provide a little insight. Craig, we're starting with the Rams and the Packers. The Rams underdogs in this one as the Packers are favorites at home, -6.5. The total is 45.5. I know the public's probably going to be all over the Packers on this one. Who do you like?
Well, we've seen this in years past where wildcard weekend is tons of underdogs, has been that way for almost a decade. But then usually the next weekend, the divisional round is much different. Usually the favorites do much better. So I'm expecting at least two favorites, if not three or four. I think the Packers probably have a pretty good shot at covering this one. I just think the Rams, they're built to win their division and to play good against their division. I just don't know if they can score with Green Bay and slow down Green Bay. Seattle obviously had some issues with their offense. I just don't see that this week. I think Green Bay covers. But my better play here, I think it's actually going to be on the under. And I know we both were on the under last week, Chelsea, with this Rams team. I think it's this week that they have to control the ball, have to keep Aaron Rodgers off the field. And I think the under is the play again this week. I'm going back to the well with the Rams and the playing the under in the Rams game.
Well, that one should have hit because the Rams actually had a defensive touchdown scored, so that kind of threw things for a loop. But I think the way I'm going to play this is in a teaser. I'm going to combine the Packers -2.5 and the under 51.5, and you get that for +109. That way I'm playing a little bit more conservatively just because I don't know if the Packers can cover that big of a number against a Rams team that's been able to run the ball pretty successfully. Cam Akers had 131 yards rushing. So I think if they slow this game tempo down, they can at least hang with the Packers for a little bit, but I don't see Green Bay losing at home in any world, especially with the way Aaron Rodgers is performing and the way that offense is firing. Next up, we've got the night game, Baltimore and Buffalo. Buffalo home favorites here, -2.5. The over-under is 50. Craig, who do you like?
Well, this Saturday night game is going to be a doozy. I really think this Bills team, they've waited a long time to get that playoff win. They got that over the hump. Now they face a Ravens team that really kind of is playing with house money a little bit. I think a lot of people thought Titans would beat them as they did the year before. Now, there's not that expectation. They didn't win the division like they did last year or anything like that. I think the Ravens are dangerous underdogs here. But I think I'm going to play on this one is actually the over. I just don't think when you blitz the Bills, which is what the Ravens loves to do, that's when Josh Allen can get out of the pocket either with his feet and pick up some first downs, or he gets some big plays down the field. And I think that's going to be the case. Of course, the Bills defense gives up their fair share too. And I think Lamar Jackson and company, that great run game is going to have some huge runs. And I think the over is the play, the safest play in this one.
Yeah, that's where I'm headed, kind of, just because this Bills run defense has been very exploitable, and you can get Lamar Jackson over 74.5 rush yards for -112. He's hit that number in 5 of his last 6 games, including 136 rush yards against the Titans. The Bills run defense giving up the third most rush yards per game at 163 per game in the NFL. And they just gave up 472 yards to the Colts. So, yeah, I'm taking that prop for Lamar Jackson just to kind of avoid taking that game because I think it's a tough one. Moving on to the Sunday slate, we've got the Browns and the Chiefs for the biggest spread of the week. Kansas City favored -10. The over-under is 57. My goodness. A double-digit spread in the playoffs, not my favorite. Craig, what do you like?
Very tough game. The Chiefs have just not been good against the spread. The last 10 games, just 3-7. Browns not much better, 4-6 against the spread. So even though you're getting double digits here, you can't feel, I don't think, real confident with either team. I think if I had to put a gun to my head, I definitely would probably take the points in the Browns. I do think that running game, and what we've seen this at times this year where the Chiefs just play good enough to win. And, I think they might do that again this week. I wouldn't talk anybody off the over as well because Cleveland, even they were up big, they let Pittsburgh pretty much do whatever they wanted. And really, Pittsburgh was, if they go for it on 4th down and get that, it would have been a field goal game late. I couldn't believe Tomlin punt it back. I think this week the over would be a solid play. But I guess I will, of the 4 plays, I think I'll take the under or the Browns plus the points here, just because you give me double digits in the playoffs. It's hard to not take it.
Yeah, I think both sides of the coin are ugly in this one because Kansas City has the problem of letting teams stick around. It's almost like they know they're so good that they'll just wait till the last minute and just fire it down the field just because their ultimate goal is the Super Bowl. They're not worried about covering point spreads. And then the Browns, I think, are a little bit overvalued by some just because I think the Steelers lost that game. I'm not sure if the Browns really won it. So once again, everybody's going to hate me, but this is what I'm playing. Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown scorer, parlayed with the Browns plus 21.5. An alternate spread, you can get both those for plus 119. I know this is the chicken way out, but that's what I'm playing. Next up, we've got the Bucks and the Saints in the battle of the men that seem to be super old but still very effective. Tom Brady, Drew Brees. The Bucks are underdogs. New Orleans is -3. The total is 52. Craig, who do you like in the battle of Hall of Famers?
Well, my best bet of the week that you can get at picksandparlays.net will be in this game, will be on the side. So I'm not going to talk about the side, but I'm going to talk about the total. And when you look at the total in this one, this comes down to, can Tampa Bay keep Tom Brady's clean? Because when his pocket is clean, we've seen in his history, he wins Super Bowls, he wins playoff games. If you put pressure on Tom Brady, those have been the games, going back to even when the Giants beat him twice in the Super Bowl, that's when they get beat. I mean, you have to put pressure on him. And the Saints, the great defense of the Saints can do that. That's why they beat them twice this year. So that's where this game is going to be won or lost. I think they're probably going to struggle to keep him clean. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards the under in this one, because I do think it's going to be a little lower scoring than that really high total of 52.
I am finally taking a side. I like the Saints here. They've won each of the last 4 meetings by a combined score of 137 267. I know it's really difficult to sweep a team in a season as the Saints would do if they win this one here. But the issue is this Bucks defense has not been nearly as good as they are on paper. They're still allowing points, allowing 23 to Washington. And then you've got the Saints defense, who is #1 in defensive efficiency, and all of their offensive weapons are back. Michael Thomas is back. Alvin Kamara is back. I just think as a complete team, the Saints are going to get it done at home, especially with the short spread there at -3. That's going to do it for NFL Rapid Fire Picks. As always, thanks for tuning in, and best of luck to everyone betting this weekend.